it's one of the Apollo players.
Yeah, so Apollo's
Got some fans at home.
Apollo's got some fans at home, and especially Flora. I guess he played baseball for his college and his college baseball teams. I think what D2 or how did you say it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, Upper Iowa, Upper Iowa, yeah. So his baseball players from Upper Iowa actually are watching, supporting him. So shout out to them. Shout out to you guys for supporting and watching the stream. We appreciate you guys being here. But hey, Flora, he was like, you got to give my boys a shout out. So hey, they got a shout out. I'm excited to see him play. I know I've been waiting to see this guy play because everybody in the chat's been talking about how good looking this guy is. And I'm not making this stuff up, and how awesome he is at this game. So Flora, you got a lot of weight on your shoulders, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what Flora is running. Got the K-bar, trophy systems, and pretty standard setup. But nonetheless, we're gonna have a restart here. Finally going into the game. In about 60 seconds, we will be.
Gives us time to talk about the teams, I guess.
I really want to just.
Even though we've already done it.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I'm debating who I want to see in the beginning. Twix played really well.
Oh, that's
then
nice.
again,
That's an interesting angle.
Diamonds started off 6-0. So I'm kind of conflicted as to who I want to see here.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the setups. Looks like regular K-bars, a few MB4s here and there, and a few OSAs as well. So when it comes down to the more preferred side off the start, a lot of teams actually think that it's going to be Apollo who has the more preferred side because they're spawning towards statue. They have pushes that can come constantly. I'll say this. A lot of people think that Apollo has the more preferred side for a number of different reasons. Reason being, number one, is that the next hill is over in Bike Path. They technically have what would be a more preferred spawn inside of Market because they can kind of rush the players through stairs and whatnot. Then you also have the next hill set up toward inside of Graves, just to their left right there off the start. However, though, I've seen teams like C9, teams like Optic, and teams like FaZe. I say they actually prefer spawning on this side because they can actually rush through the opposite team. Catwalk, they feel like, is a much better spawn than Market is because you have more angles that you can rush through. And they also feel like if they can push through stairs, it's a lot easier to get spawned. So it depends on how these teams kind of play the numbers game off the start, but it seems that maybe Savage might have an advantage if they play their cards right.
Let's see what's going to go down. Twix, the guy we were talking about, currently 2-0. Whiffs that player, almost turns on him, but gets taken out by Flores. Goody on your screen, he gets taken out as well. And who's going to be inside that hard point for the team? Apollo, actually 3 players are up, so we got Dozer, Jukes, as well as Zilla in there. Flores going to be rotating around and just kind of roaming. Grenadier is going to be thrown. Wall run does get taken out. Looks like Apollo with a very, very strong start. 20-6. Looking very good as we're going to see a rotation coming down, which is 15 seconds remaining. Is who's going to be down there in that bike path? It looks like it is going to be a mixture, actually. So it's going to be a nice battle here, but only one player from Team Savage was there. And because of that, Apollo easily takes it over, and they're going to continue their lead.
Yeah, Apollo looking very, very good here off the start as they've got the first few kills in their favor. Now also have locked down the preferred spawns. But there's going to be a few players in the back now, obviously spawning toward that broken building catwalk side. Diamonds in a very, very informational type of play as he's going to be able to call out at least 2 players, now call out 3, but he's able to finish 1 and dies by the 3rd. So a lot of numbers being exchanged, but that's the exact opposite of what Savage has. They've only got 6, and Apollo piling on the points, as it seems, as they're going to reach that 50 mark.
Diamond started off really strong in that first game. Like I said, started off 6-0. Then he starts this game 0-3 and is only 1-5 at this point. Maybe that restart did, in fact, play something, at least in their heads. Who knows? But it's too close to tell. 56-6, a 50-point lead, but Dozer is the man telling the story. He is currently on a 7-kill streak, looking really good. He's already streaked out. He's working towards his kinetic. He's going to get those scrap points as the rotation is down. Twix fighting off the team of Apollo, pushing in, and an easy kill from Flora, pushing in, and just like that, they managed to get the first hard point, the first hill. They got the second hill, and now the 3rd hill with ease.
Yeah, that's the issue that Savage is kind of having right now. I mean, they should have been on this rotation very, very early on. If you lose over toward Bike Path, you just stack up over in Graves. That's exactly what they tried to do, but only one player was here. That was Twix at the time. Goody ends up dropping, and now you see players like Insulary, and now Diamonds responding toward Back Bridge. They have nothing going for them right now unless they get a clean break, and Diamonds is able to go off a little bit. But the push continues over from Bridge as the guys from Apollo aren't actually even loading inside of the hill at this point. Zilla looking through middle, might even already be on the early rotation as he's not going to spot one just to his left. A little bit of a late fight there. You can see Dozer going to be getting the last few scrap points. I say last few, it's about 20, so that's obviously a pretty big margin. But the setup from Savage looks pretty good. If they can lock down Catwalk, lock down Middle Street, and have someone in the hill, make sure they do have spawns. They could easily be back in this one. We talked about Destroy Building countless times. We'll see if Savage can bring it back. This is the hill to do it on.
This is definitely the hill to do it on, and Savage got that rotation off. Unfortunately, it's not the way they wanted. It's because they got killed off and were forced to rotate over to Broken, but see if they'll be able to hold it down. Intelari's going to be in there. Goody, he's going to be roaming around trying to spot some stragglers from Apollo, but Flora, like the sneaky beaver he is, rotating around, and the Osa, like we've talked about, is not the gun to challenge with from that distance. It's got a little bit too much kick, and fortunately, he's not able to get any kills with it, but Apollo is going to push in quite aggressively, and really it's up to Twix to try and get this two-piece, and unfortunately, he whiffs it as he's going to get taken out by Zilla, and Apollo, once again, is going to take over this hard point, and they can get some good time off of it, but a quick answer from the team of Savage, and one of the things to point out later on in this game, Dozer with those score streaks, that's going to be really good for clearing out rotations and maybe even Anchor.
Yeah, and so what we kind of basically saw throughout this entire hill was the fact of course, Savage being on the early rotation did a great job with that. But in the end, like I say, a lot of free time being awarded to the side of Apollo, as it looks like Zilla finding two there in response, and letting the enemy know, essentially, as they are just absolutely walking away with them when it comes into the slaying. But that Destroyed Building, it was the fact of Savage rotating, Apollo being a little bit late on the rotations, which gave Savage a lot of free seconds, but they're not really aware. It seemed that they were always going for the hill primarily. They weren't really focused on the kills. It was just like hard points there, I need to get in it. When in reality, it's let's set up, let's get the kills in our favor, then let's push the hill. It seems that they're kind of preferring the, I guess the objective more than the kills, which I would normally prefer, but the kills are very important because it helps you with positioning. And it seems that Apollo completely walking away with this game, at least off the start. My prediction is not really reigning true necessarily, at toward the beginning, as it is an early 130-point lead instead of Apollo. Savage yet to really get anything going.
Flora was just tearing up that hallway and single-handedly locking it down. He's got his overdrive. He's also has, it seems, was that Trinity Rocket as well. We still have Dozer, who's refused to use his score streaks, and I guess really no need at this point with this much of a lead. It's kind of going to be a, clear out of hardpoint and just Dozer just lighting him up. He's currently 15-6. You look at Zilla, who's 14-9. You got Flores 17-8. Jukes, probably the closest KD-wise, but even he is positive at 14-10, and all with relatively good hill time as well. And they're rotating really well. They've got their payloads as well. I mean, they're looking great. They're looking very strong, liking what I'm seeing. And this bridge hardpoint is just such a chaotic one, but look at Apollo. They're locking it down with ease, and at this point, Savage is just scrambling to try to get anything to work.
And if you would have showed me just that one hill, that last hill over in lobby, I could basically tell you how this game is going to go. I mean, in no way should any team get 30 to 40 plus seconds in a hill like lobby. I mean, the first and the last hill of these rotations, when it comes down to it, like retaliation, are all about contesting. It's all about contesting, getting the good spawns, maybe getting a few seconds here and there. But in no way should they be getting the points that they are right now. In no way should Dozer be 19-6. But of course, that's just not happening for Savages. They're just not having any luck here, as we've kind of been talking about Dozer's performance. What to be looking out for the side of Apollo, along with a guy like Flora. I mean, they have been, without question, this is a very consistent team. I mean, you look at it, only really 2 kills separating, 1 kill now separating everyone from one another. When you look at the side of Savage, 9-17 for Diamond, double negative. You got one player 14-19. He's definitely kind of doing pretty well. And then Itelary 7-20. Just unacceptable when it comes down to a game type like Hardpoint. They didn't win any of the rotations. They got constantly outslayed. The hills were broken pretty easily. As I'm calling it out right now, the rewind gets rocked from Goody, and that's just what happens whenever you're kind of unaware of what's going on.
I would like to point out something that you really, I don't think you saw, or maybe you did see it and just didn't point it out, but, Dozer, he was streaked out, right? Then he went on a 6-kill streak and got streaked out once again. So he actually streaked out twice during this game, and that's impressive nonetheless. So 250 to 48. So what? That's a math is hard. 152 point lead.
You're moving up, man.
You like that?
You're moving up.
You like that? It took a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It took a little bit of subtraction, division, and multiplication, but I managed to get that 150.